Okay, again, if you're joining us, indicate your name and where you're joining us. I got to from Kwara. Welcome, welcome, you're welcome, welcome, you're. I'm juggling at 13:30. That's why we started yet. Sorry about that. Some Nigerians never early. All right. Okay. Just give me a second. Please confirm you can see my screen. Indicate with an emoji. If you have any questions, please drop them in the chat. I'll be checking the chat on. Okay. All right. You're all welcome once again to this session. This is a 1-hour training in vibe coding for beginners. You're going to be learning how to apps without, of course, learning how to code simply by using AI. Okay. And join us, please. Let's follow along as we take off on the session. Okay. So before we get started, I want to begin by introducing us. Who are we? Architecting Labs is actually a training platform and consulting platform, right? A training and consulting business where we train people, specifically business owners, African business owners, in AI, simply for the purpose of optimizing profits, reducing time wasted on activities that are not directly impacting in profit, and also helping them automate a lot of the processes that may seem redundant. We are business owners ourselves, and we know what it means to run a business, especially if you're a solopreneur. All right, so that's basically what we do. We also offer AI automation services. We also help businesses build AI solutions, AI apps, web apps, and so on and so forth. All right, that's just a quick overview of who we are as Architecture Labs. Okay, to the next slide. Who am I? My name is Adbel Omunu. I've been in the tech space for up about a decade, and currently I play several roles. I am a BI automation expert, a product manager, and entrepreneur. They have helped lots of business owners tune their business over the years, and within Africa and across Africa. So that's just a high-level overview of what I am and what I do. Okay, so we'll just go to the next. All right, a quick introduction. So who is this training for? In case you are here and you are wondering, is this training for me? Am I in the right place? Is this not one of those other many trainings where they promise to deliver and then they don't deliver? Okay, just to get started, this training is targeted at non-technical entrepreneurs first. They are our main target. So any entrepreneur or business owner or founder who is not technical, meaning they are non-technical. A student with zero coding experience, if you are here, then you're in the right place. So if you're a business owner here, please indicate on the chat you're a business owner. Just indicate I'm a business owner so that we get to see those on the call who are business owners. All right, you're a business owner. You run a business. Nobody? Wow. All right, that's fine. Okay, business owner. All right, Usman. Beautiful. So you're a business owner. If you're a student, let's see you indicate I'm a student. Just indicate students. If you're a business owner and student, indicate business owner and student. All right. You don't have any students. So that's interesting. Okay. All right. So the next, you're a professional from a non-technical field. Please, if you have any questions, raise in your hand in the chat. I will not be able to address questions yet, all right, in person, unless you leave it in the chat. Okay, so if you have any questions, keep it in the chat. Or if there's anything you want to see, put it on the chat. All right, thank you very much. So you are a professional from a non-technical field. Please indicate on the chat, professional, non-techy. Professional, non-tech. Okay. Nobody. All right. Fair enough. Okay. Next. Hello. Confirm you can hear me. Just indicate an emoji. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. All right. So you're creative, a freelancer, a hobby. Indicate on the chat. Okay, Joseph. Are you a creative or a freelancer? Indicate on the chat so that we can get to capture that. Okay, I teach them. All right, fair enough. Freelancer. All right, fair enough. Okay, so and generally, just curious about it. Okay, generally, any person curious about it. So we'll move on to the next because we have a lot of cover. Okay, so we've also mentioned that who this training is not for. All right, who is this training not for? Or rather, what you don't need for this training. You don't need to be one coding experience. You don't have to have any tech skill. You don't have to have any engineering knowledge. You don't have to have any design background or previous projects. You don't have to have built any previous software project. Okay. So the others who are on this group, just please tell us what you do at the moment, because I noticed some person didn't mention anything about what they do. Okay, please just indicate what you do. All right, before we move on. Let's indicate that quickly. All right. Some persons are not here. All right, let's go on. So what we promise by the end of this training, you should be able to build web apps. If you can build web apps, you can build websites. The websites are generally very easy to build, at least in this day and age. You'll also be able to have an understanding of AI-assisted development. You'll be able to have knowledge on the top vibe coding tools, at least some of them. You'll also be able to have a repeatable framework for building any AI solution. And by the time we are done today, you have a live example of an AI of a web app that we're going to be building. All right. How many of us are excited to be here? Excited to see what we have for us this evening. Awesome. Okay, Steven says thanks, tech support. Nice to have you here. I think in one of the trainings I think sometime this year we actually had somebody with tech support too. All right, so I'll just gloss through some of these things because they are not as important for me. So what are you supposed to explain? We are not building a full-scale enterprise app. As much as it's very possible now to build something that is a full-scale enterprise app, but not maybe entirely, but to a large extent, built now with AI. Okay? Complex systems, advanced backend, to some extent, they can be built with AI, but we're not doing that here on the score. Okay? But there will be no time, except 1 hour for this training. Okay? We're not going to be getting ourselves involved in anything that is highly technical. We're just going to be focusing on mini apps, micro tools. We're not going to be building websites today. However, just to inform you, it's possible for you to build a website using AI. Okay? Please confirm you can hear me. Okay, confirm you can still hear me. All right. All right, sorry about that. My internet, it seems like it's lagging. Okay. Let's move on. You can still hear me, please indicate, because it seems like I'm losing. Just a minute. Hello. Can you hear me, guys? Can you all hear me? All right, beautiful. So our agenda for today is going to be focused on what is vibe coding, and vibe coding tools, some projects that can be built with AI to build vibe coding, and we enter into our activity session. Okay. Hello. Please confirm I'm very audible, because we can't trust the Nigerian network. All right. So let's go. The first section. I want to quickly look at what vibe coding is. I guess many of us already know what vibe coding is. You've heard of vibe coding before, indicate with an emoji. You've heard of what vibe coding indicates with an emoji. All right. It's just 3%. That's interesting. Okay. For the rest of us who may not know what vibe coding is. So vibe coding is simply a term that was coined by a guy called Drake and Drake Brown. And this was early last year. Okay. And it's simply means using natural language to generate code or build software with the help of AI. So in simple terms, what we mean by natural language is simply our everyday human language. Okay, that's what we mean by natural. So whenever I hear natural language, so everyday language. Okay? So vibe coding simply is using AI powered tools plus prompting. All right, prompting to build software. If you don't know what prompting is, would hint into that. Prompting is typically how we communicate with AI tools. All right, in order to get a desired outcome, it's simply how we communicate with these AI tools in order to get a desired output or outcome. Okay? So when you chat or you give an instruction, that's what we call communication. So this is not your use coding where you code everything out, but this time around, communicate your intent, and then the AI goes ahead to execute on the instruction given to it. So that's what vibe coding is. Okay? We move on to the next. So how does vibe coding really work? Number one step is that you describe your idea in language. The requirement is that you have to have an idea and it has to be very, very clear. Okay? Clear in your mind. Even when it's not clear in your mind, AI can generate things for you. But the clearer, the better. And the next thing is that once you have your idea, is for you to be able to generate your prompts. For prompt here, we mean, like I said earlier, simply the process of telling the AI what you want it to do. And then the next step is to allow the AI to begin to write code or build out the idea that you've given to it via the prompts. Are we following? Hope it's clear so far. Okay, beautiful. Especially those who have no idea about type coding before. Hope it's clear. All right. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. So immediately the AI has about building or writing out code because the AI is itself not perfect and sometimes could make mistakes, just like every developer or human developer. Let me put it that way. It may make some mistakes, so you have to take the next step, which is number 4. You test that particular thing that you asked it to do. You test it to see if it works, and then you instruct again. If it needs to make some adjustments or tweaks, you tell it to make the necessary adjustments, and it does so. Then the next step, which is the step, when you're done building out the entire thing, you then deploy it for the website online. All right. I hope that's clear. So the next, I'll be very, very quick with this because we have I think almost getting to less than 30 minutes for what we have to do. So why does it matter to learn AI, especially for coding? A number of things. Number one is AI code tools market rather is coding. Okay, there are lots of AI tools currently used for coding, lots and lots of them. There are also other low-code platforms. A low-code platform which would require a little knowledge or idea about coding. You don't even have to be so much of a pro to be able to use them. All right. Most of them are also out there, and they start time ago that mentioned that by 2025, because last year, 70% of new apps will be built with low or no code tools. Okay. However, we also move on to mention that no code AI platform markets are estimated to be doing something like 6.7 billion. That was way back last year. Okay. Just to also add this lastly, a lot of businesses today are adopting AI, right, in building their solutions. And that's something that you must take note of. It's what we have right here. Even Microsoft is adopting AI. Some of the big names are adopting AI for building out solutions and for writing code. Then you too must not be left out. Okay. So these are very, very, very important things to note. A lot of developers themselves are also adopting these tools for building. If you are a developer in this day and age and you are not adopting such tools, let me confirm, is any developer here? Any developer? Okay. Okay, there's not. If you are here but you're hiding, we see you. All right. So if you're a developer in this day and age and you're not adopting AI, you are soon going to be extinct. All right. So quick type coding tools that's very important for me. Number of them are looking to. We are not going to be looking at all the two. Just focus on the ones for beginners and non people. All right. Here are some that are currently in use and are currently popular. Okay. So for non-technical users, we focus on this. You have Lovable, you have Bolt.new, you have Temple.new, you have Framer AI, you have TypeDream AI, all the ones specifically for websites, Realum AI, Viewable, right? And you have some other AI coding assistants, like Gemini. Claude Code is not just an AI coding assistant alone now. It's wild what you can do with Claude Code. Okay. However, it's more suited for techies than non-techies. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. We are moving on to the next. So what you can build with vibe coding? What are some of the things you can build with vibe coding? We mentioned and many apps. We are talking about Kudu apps, budget trackers, smarter appointments, schedulers, and so on and so forth. Micro utility like calculators, trackers. And these were actually tools that you could use, you could build with AI in the early days. But now, honestly speaking, you can build much more robust apps than these. For example, you can build an e-commerce form using this kind of tools. I mean, from end to end, front end and back end. For those of us that know what front end and back end is, we will talk into it as we move on. All right, next. So the 6-step framework for vibe coding, because we'll soon be getting into our hands-on. All right, we'll soon be getting into our hands-on. So 6-step framework for vibe coding. Number one, ideation. So meaning, like I said earlier, you have to have an idea. What do you want to build? All right, as simple as that. What do you want to build? Who are you building for? Okay. Then the next, if you have a clear picture of what you want to build, then you ask one of these AI tools to generate a prompt for you based on what you want to build and who you are building to. Are we following? Okay, beautiful. So once you've generated your prompt, you take your prompt to the AI coding tool and you prompt it. So that's what leads us to step 3, which we call prompting. So the prompting there is prompting the AI coding tool. So you send in your prompt and it starts working. It goes to work. The best approach to adopt when building with this AI coding tool is to build them little by little, not just to dump the entire idea, especially if it's a very complex idea. If it's a very simple web app, by the way, a web app, you can think of a web app as a website, because your general website is the front end. Okay, the front end is simply everything you can see: the page, the button, the text, all of those things make up the front end. Things that you can interact with, click on with a button, you can view. All of those things make up what we call the front end. The back end for a web app are some of the things that you may not be able to see. For example, things like the database, things like authentication. I'll explain them. Okay? Database is where, if you're going to be storing anything on your web app, it will be stored there. Okay, in terms of text, and the links. Whilst, and this, by the way, is a very simplified version. Okay, but in case of the techies in the house, so that they don't crucify me for these simplistic explanations. All right. So authentication simply means if you are having a house and you want to go into the house, you have to have the key to the house to access it. So we are talking about the login details. All those login details simply see on a web app before you can gain access to your particular account. All right. So that's just high level overview of what a basic web app entails. All right. It can be complex than that. Okay. So the next, like we mentioned, you build incrementally. The next step is to now test, like we said, we also mentioned this earlier, but this is a more extended framework than the one we saw earlier. So test what you've built, has built, and see if there's any need for correction, and if there are items that it skipped that you need to instruct it to add. Okay. After doing all of that, you repeatedly, so you go back again. If you have to edit something, you edit. If you have to a bit to the prompt, you add a bit of description to the prompt, and then you prompt the AI coding tool again properly, and on until you've gotten something, and then finally you deploy. Okay, so deploy means you launch so that others can have access to it and make use of it. All right, hope that's clear. Are we together? Hope I'm not too fast. If I'm too fast, put it on the chat, say you're too fast. Okay, nobody's saying I'm too fast. All right. Okay. All right, brilliant. So let's continue. So we are getting into the hands-on section now. But before we get into the hands-on section, I want to quickly introduce us to one of our upcoming projects. It's something I suggest you take advantage of it a business owner, a freelancer, during the course of the program, you'll be learning to build majorly web apps. We are going full on into building some of these things, and I'll show you some solutions that we built. Like you don't think that we just teach people things and we don't do these things ourselves. All right, I'll show you some. At least I'll give you access to some of the solutions we built to showcase what we're capable of building to certain clients, and they allowed us, or rather, they hopped on one of our packages. We built some solutions for them. I'll show you just the demo of some of the tools we built. Okay, we can't show you the actual tools because of the contract we entered with them in the non-disclosure contracts. Right? Okay, so like I said, you'll be learning how to build real web apps, business tools, and all of that. You'll learn how to write powerful prompts and turn them into working products, web apps. You'll create apps with databases, user accounts, and admin features. So general user accounts and admin accounts. All right. We'll also be learning how to connect any API or integrate any external tool to your web app. And finally, we will also learn how to, of course, test, improve, and ensure that you are building something that is secure. So security is also very critical when building this so that it doesn't easily get hacked. So that's something. Those are some of the things you're going to be getting. We're going to be building at least 3 solid solutions over the course of that training, 3 to 5 solutions, depending on the time, what time permits. And as part of the bonus for the training, we're going to be helping businesses who up on the program rebrand their business using AI. We'll be teaching them rather how to rebrand their business using AI. And this training costs just 25,000 and can be paid. It can be paid in, what was it called again? It can be paid in bits, in only two installments. Okay. So, and the training, by the way, starting next week. So if it's something you're interested in, try to hop on as quickly as possible. To take advantage of it, these are seller, this is the seller account or link for that. All right, I'll drop it on the chat for anyone who is interested. Okay, I'll drop it on the chat for anyone who's interested. And okay, so I'll pin it here just so you see, and you can get access to that. Just to mention, for this what we are offering this bonus at this price. Next cohort, be cheap. Okay, so let's move on to business. If you are still here, please indicate it on the chat. Sorry. Awesome. So one of the major tools we're going to be building right now is a profit tracking app. We're going to be building a profit tracking app. Okay. I was hoping we're going to be having more business people on this call. However, I will just be there. I'll show us how that's done. And I'll drop the prompts for us. And we'll get on with it. Who was the first to hop in this call? You are the first indicate by the raise of the hand. By the show of hand. You were the first. Somebody said Umar. Yes, Steve. How do you know? Okay. Yeah, Steven. Okay, and that's Umar. I think you a little person. That's so you. All right. Where is Umar in this call? Because he's not even responding. If Umar is not responding, take your thoughts because I want somebody to recommend one of the two of you to recommend simple app that we can build on this call. Okay, any of the two of you drop on the chat an app you want us to build on this call. While we are waiting for you, we're going straight to Lovable. I remember telling you guys to sign up for Lovable, right? Okay. TikTok challenge app. Yeah. What does the app look like? Please discuss. If somebody is saying an e-commerce, George, were you one of the first to report on this call? If you come, if you pay for our training, okay, I'm the fourth. Also, sorry, we can't take your suggestion yet. So, Steven, what's the TikTok challenge app like? You can unmute and describe it. Describe it.
Okay, let's just forget about that. Let's go for e-commerce app. That's something simpler because it's going to be very. Let's go for the e-commerce app, something simpler.
Okay. So if you're going to be building an e-commerce app,
all right? Yes, you can go for that.
Okay. So if we're going for that, just a disclaimer: we may not have the time to finish it out. Okay, that's just a disclaimer.
That's the same thing. That's why I opt out of the TikTok challenge app. Can we go for something simpler like a social media scheduling post app? Something simpler.
Social media scheduling post. Okay.
Yes.
We can.
Okay.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. If we can't, because I'm having certain ideas concerning that app already, but let's just focus on the first one, right? Already having some ideas. So let me give you the prompts, or let's just generate the prompt together. Let's generate the prompt together. All right. So I'm going on ChatGPT to generate it. So I'll share my screen. I'm going to show you everything. Okay. By the way, this is not the only way to generate the prompts. There are other ways to generate prompts. All right. So there are other ways to generate prompts. But for now, I'm only going to be showing this very simple and straightforward way. So all you simply need to do is to, for me, I like dictating. I don't like typing. It takes time typing. Please confirm you can see my my screen on ChatGPT. Beautiful. Okay. All right. Is any person a business owner on this call? I'm still looking for business owners. Only one business owner. All right, Usman. I would have said Usman should recommend, but anyway, you didn't come early. Okay, so let's go quickly. All right. So we would like to generate a profit tracking app for a business owner. We're going to be building it on Lovable. And so what we want to quickly do is to ensure that the business owner is able to put in whatever they've sold for that day, the amount that's in terms of the quantity and the cost in terms of how much was paid for it. That's for the sales part. There should also include expenses made in the business for that day, where the business owner is able to put in the specific item that money was spent on and the amount of money that was spent on it. Altogether, the app should also include a dashboard that automatically tracks the profit made on a daily basis. Okay, so there should be a tracker that tracks the amount of profit based on all of these things imputed for that day. Automatically compute the total sales, automatically compute the profit too. All right, so that's exactly what it looks like. So I clicked on the check button just now. So that's exactly what it looks like. Okay, it's going to transcribe what I just said. Right, I just noticed that I didn't tell it to generate a prompt, so I'll quickly type that out below here, that it should generate a very simple and short prompt. Okay, all right, a simple and short prompts to be used on Lovable. All right, so finally, I'm also going to state the currency we're going to be making use of, because that's also something to note. So we are using the Naira as our currency of choice. Okay, so I'll take this and I'll allow it to do its work. Okay, beautiful. Beautiful. All right, so we have this simple prompt. It says build a simple profit tracking app for business owners, of course, in Nigeria. The app should allow users to record daily business activities. Remember, we mentioned when generating your prompt, you must have a clear idea of what you want, right? Remember, we mentioned that if you don't have a clear idea of what you want, you can, we mentioned we are not even though we are recording this session, to answer George, right? Even though we are recording this session, we enjoin you that you are paying attention, because we're not going to be making the recording available. Okay, we're not going to be making it available because we want everybody to pay attention to the class. By the way, after this training session, this will not be the last training session we'll have other subsequent free training sessions. Hopefully, next week Saturday we may have in another, or next 2 weeks. So remain on the group and keep track. Okay, even if we can't build out everything today, we may continue in our next session. All right, so please take notes. Okay, so don't think that this is a one-off. We'll keep having some free session. Does that not sound nice? Thought somebody will be excited. Anyway, people are not excited. All right. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, so where was I? So we have our prompt now. So we mentioned earlier when we're showing you the steps that your idea has to be clearly stated. And when you have a clearly stated idea, you don't want to build out everything all at once. You want to build it little by little. Okay, so for now, we have this simple one. This one is simple enough. The major things that we are building here, if you notice, they are just 4. Okay, there's a section for tracking sales, a section for tracking expense, and then a dashboard. And okay, the currency is automatically added. It's not the main feature. Okay, so this is simple enough to get started with. All right, so we'll just move on to our Lovable, and we'll see what it builds for us. Oh, I forgot to show us some solutions we built. Maybe I'll show us by the time we wrap up. We built before for some persons. Please confirm you can see my screen. I've moved over to Lovable now. Confirm you can see my screen, and I've pasted the prompt here. Let me zoom out a bit. All right, are we together? Let me check. Beautiful. So once you've done that, I just want to introduce you to the Lovable platform quickly. Okay. There's a lot you can do. There's a reason we are choosing to use Lovable, by the way, because it's one of the most generous in terms of the amount of features it allows you to have access to, even for a free plan. But the number of credits, let me just show you. It limits the number of credits that you have. If you're a new user, you should have, like, mine is 25 because I recently signed up on this account. I have other accounts, by the way, but I recently signed up on this account so that we can do much. Okay, so we've done that. So you have your credits, so you see the number of credits you have. But if you've been using it before, you have only 5. That's why you can see 5 daily credits, as you can see here. And as much as it looks small, that 5, you can use it to do a lot if you work on it daily, if you work on whatever project you are working on daily for free. You can build something incredible. So I'll click on that arrow, on this arrow here, and we should start with looking to see what it builds out for us. All right. And by the way, whilst it's doing that, and you want to probably get on with some other things, you can click on enable notification, and I'll allow it, so that whilst it's building it for you, you are seeing what is happening. You are seeing what is being done. You are seeing what is being done. And if you're not there, you can go away and come back. So you can go away and you hear a notification indicating that it is done building what you've asked it to build. Okay. While we are still waiting for this, okay, I'll just quickly show you some solutions that we've built for customers in the past. All right, some solutions we built for some clients. Okay, and by the way, if you have this kind of skill set as a freelancer, let me ask because it seems like we have more freelancers here. How many of you freelancers here know how to run ads? Let me quickly get an example. You can run ads yourself. In this day and age, as a freelancer, you should know how to run ads. You should not solely depend on some of those freelancing platforms. This is me just giving you this hint for free. Any freelancer that knows how to run ads? Okay, beautiful. Joseph. All right, beautiful. Very, very important. Very, very, very important. Okay, Steven, beautiful. Very, very important. Very, very important. Hopefully in the days to come, we'll have maybe one free session for how to run very, very cheap ads in addition to what we are doing, because our goal is to help business people and help people in us. It named it for us. We didn't give it a name, so it named it for us. Okay, I'm sure you all can see it. All right. So it named it in for us. It designed the layout for us. But if you needed a specific you design, you can state so. All right. So this is what it looks like. Okay. So it tells you that it's today. Let me close here out. It tells you that it's today. And so what you simply need to do is to put in whatever item was sold. So under sales, you have sales. This place where you add your sales. This is where you add your expenses. Okay, where you add sales and add expenses. So let's check that out quickly. Let's test it. You remember we mentioned once it has generated a build, we test to see if it works. Remember we mentioned that, right? So we want to quickly test. To see, all right, what it builds for us. So let's continue. So we'd say, let's say we sell food items. Let me use bag of rice because I can already see bag of rice there. And let's say, so that day people bought like say 6 bags of rice. I'm just using an estimated amount. Please don't. Nobody should come and be dragging me here. Okay. All right. So then I click on add sales. Okay. So immediately we add sales. Let's see what happens. Any change yet? Okay, I can't even see anything yet. But let's add expense. Let's say transport costs us, let's say like 5,000 naira. If you are living in Lagos, it should probably cost you more than this. Okay. Okay. So total expenses us a loss. So let me try that bag of rice again. Bag of rice. Maybe something went wrong. Let's say 6, and let's say 250K. All right. Okay, beautiful. So it actually works. Okay, we can see it's a mini dashboard here, just showing us our total sales, our total expense, and our net profit. This is a basic and a simple one. And by the way, as a business owner, if you're a business owner, you can easily keep track of this. And by the way, it already automatically also includes the ability to delete it. Okay, so you can easily delete. Let me add another one. Let's say bag of beans, and then we include say 2. Let me say 180, and then we have that. So if you see, it automatically changes here. Okay, so that way on a daily basis, when you come in, you can simply add. But if you notice, okay, I just want to show us something quickly. You notice if I refresh it, I lose everything. So that's where authentication comes in. Authentication is that you have to create. Okay, I didn't. Oh, beautiful! I didn't lose anything. Beautiful, beautiful. So let me refresh the entire thing. Let me see if I lose anything. So it automatically saves it for me. I like that. Let's see if we lose anything. All right. Okay, so we didn't lose anything. So this way, even as a business owner, you can keep track of all of this. All right. Let me show us this. I was thinking of only leaving this for those who pay for the training. So, but if you want to publish, it's very simple. You click on the publish. It's of course very visible there. You click on the publish. Okay, click on the publish, and then you click on continue. Okay, I'm just trying to show us how the interface works. These ones are paid for. If you want to add members, if you want to create a workspace that you can, all right, you can create a workspace. But for this public URL, you can then click on continue. You can upload a specific icon that you want to appear when people check your app. And by the icon, we mean, I'm sure you see Lovable's icon here. Okay, you may not be able to see it, but if you have a phone, if you check your tab while you are browsing on your, especially on your laptop, you'll be able to see the icon, the specific icon for that particular app. So there's the icon, you upload the image here, and you get a particular, all right, you can include the name so that it's also visible on your tab, include the description, social icon, also include that there. All right. So we'll move on to the next, to generate. Before publishing, all right, we've generated a link now. Okay, so this is the link, this is the URL. Before publishing, you can run a quick scan for security. So this is one of the advantages of using Lovable. You can run security check, and I think, if I remember correctly, security check runs for free. Okay, runs for free. So it says the basic security scan is passed, but you can continue to run a deep security scan. I'm giving you that nugget. All right. So let's continue. So if you click on publish, is any person following along? Oh, somebody's asking, let's have the prompt. All right, I'll send you the prompt. Just a minute. Let me send the prompt. Okay, I just dropped the prompt. I just dropped the prompt. So take note of the prompts. Take note of that prompt. So let's quickly see. Let's quickly try to build. This is very simple, and we're just only going to be using Lovable on this call. But on our training, we're going to be using a number of tools so that you get to see how those ones work. I would have showed you one more tool, or maybe some other time, or if you hop on our program. So let's move on to trying to see what it looks like. So I'll click on View App. Let me show you what that looks like here. Share this. Okay, can you see the screen? All right, beautiful. And by the way, it seems like it's looking like a mobile app, but you can tell it to look like more like a web app. It seems like it got the idea that it thought we were wanting to build a mobile app, so it gave us a mobile app kind of feel. But that's what it's looking like to me. I'm sure you can notice that it's looking more like a mobile app kind of UI, front end, than a web app. A mobile app is the one that you typically use. Okay, so beautiful. So you can instruct it to change it. So that's why you have to be very specific in your prompting. If you need an app, if you just say an app, most of these AI tools will just assume that you want to build a mobile app. If you say a web app, meaning it's going to be used majorly on the web and not on some of these. You're not going to be pushing it to some of these stores like Apple Store and Android, all right, or Google Play Store rather. So you have to be that specific in your prompting so that it doesn't come out looking weird. In our case, it gave us exactly what we want, but in other cases, okay, you may want to begin to, if we've exceeded our time, but let's just continue. Let's just continue. I need to build that one more, even if you don't exhaust it. I just want to show you what that looks like. Okay, so in other cases, you may not have it exactly come out exactly like this. So in that case, you go back and you tell it what adjustment you want it to make here. And in that way, you can also speak to it. Let me just show you that. You can tell it exactly what you want. So let's say we want to change it from looking like a mobile app to a web app. We tell it that, and it does exactly that for us. So I click on that check icon, and it does exactly that for us. Okay. All right. So you see what it did here, and so I'll click on that, and all right, it will work. But because I want to save my credits because of the e-commerce app that I want us to attempt next. Okay. I'm not going to go beyond this for this daily profit tracker. But hope this didn't take us much time to build at all. It gave us exactly what we want because we knew exactly what we wanted, right? I'm sure you all could see it. Oh, you could not see my screen just now. Okay, so this was what I did. I clicked here to prompt it again. So I said if you wanted to correct things, I click on that icon here and I speak. And once I speak, it transcribes what I want to speak to make whatever correction. I didn't know that I wasn't sharing this screen. All right, and so I do all of that there, and then I click on this place to adjust whatever I need to adjust. I'm saying now that I don't want to make any further adjustment because I want to save our credits. You can check here to see how much credit you have. All right, you see I have a bit more credits, but I want to really save my credits for the e-commerce app. And the e-commerce app is going to be, because it's going to be using lots of credits. So I'll go back to our dashboard. I don't know if we are still following. And if you're enjoying the class, you're still enjoying the class, all right? Oh, somebody is surprised that Lovable, in my opinion, is easier than Claude. Claude's complexity, Claude is a bit complex. It's more, like I told you guys earlier, it's more suited for people who have a bit of technical experience. And you have to learn those concepts like skills and all those other, you know what I'm talking about. So Lovable is relatively easier. All right. Okay. Don't worry, I'll show you guys some solutions I built, but I just want us to focus on what we are working on here so that you see what is possible. We are just playing with small things, so there are serious things that you can build with this thing. Serious things. So let's try our e-commerce website. All right, our e-commerce platform. So it was Steven, right? So Steven, what kind of e-commerce website do you want us to build? What should we be selling on that platform? So remember I mentioned we have to be specific. So what do you want us to sell on the platform?
Okay, just selling ebooks, preferably.
Okay, ebooks.
Yes.
All right, that's interesting. That's brilliant. All right, so I'll come to ChatGPT again. By the way, you can use Claude, you can use anyone for generating your prompts. All right. I generally like using Claude and ChatGPT, but you can use any of the items. Okay. So I like us to build an e-commerce platform, a web app to be specific, specifically for selling ebooks. Okay, make sure that the design comes out really presentable and also very, very sleek and minimalistic. Let it also be user friendly. Okay, and generate a prompt for us based on this for building it on Lovable. A very simple looking prompt. All right, so I'm done instructing it and it will get to work. Okay, and let's see. So generally when it does this, you want to be sure, for example, you see Lovable wasn't spelled properly. So you want to review what you've done. So let me even ask, how many of us use ChatGPT like this? Let me confirm. Okay, Steven, beautiful. All right. And this thing can make you very lazy. Very, very lazy. So beware. All right, so we have awesome. So if you notice, it goes on to tell us that it has to have a user sign-up. So it gives us authentication, the user side, meaning what the user will be seeing. Are you seeing this? It automatically figured that out itself, right? The authentication is access. Each different user should be able to have access to it. So that's why we have authentication. So user login password. I would like an admin side so that you can upload it. Beautiful. So it figured that out. Awesome. It figured that out. So there has to be an admin side where you have to upload it. Beautiful. So that's just generally the idea. It's also giving you some other things that you can do. You can follow up on them, but for us, we'll just stick to this. So now we'll go on to Lovable. All right. And I'll put it there. Put my prompt there. These other things. Okay. Okay, I'll remove these other parts where it was talking about. Okay. I'll remove this other part. Awesome. Okay, so these are our prompts. Hope we are all together. Let me see if we are all together. Because this is the last we are going to be building. All right. Okay. Are we all together? Don't worry, before 9:15 we should be done. Hopefully, depending on how fast. Okay, so I'm going to click on this. I'm sure you all know that this is just a simple way of building. It can get more complex than this, and we could show you more complex ways of building these things so that it comes out nicer. All right. But if you want to get, of course, more of that, you can come for our training. Or, yeah, you can come for our training. But in our next session, hopefully next week or next 2 weeks, this free session, please looking out for it. If we can't finish this e-commerce platform today, we'll continue. All right. We'll continue. And even, who knows, we may even have maybe more than one free session. So always be looking out on that group. More than one free session a week. Because we really want to help a lot of people as much as we can. Okay. So we are waiting for that. While we're waiting for that, let me show you some of the solutions, like I mentioned earlier, that we built in the past. We'll just show you a number of them. I can't show you, I won't show you the links to others, because I don't want you guys to come and start I don't trust some of you. Okay, so this was one of the most recent solutions. I'm still working on this. These are an ongoing project. Please confirm you can see my screen. Okay, so this is an ongoing project. It's not yet, I'm not even yet done with it. That's why it's looking all like this. It's just a demo for the admin section of the app. It's actually for a Burrow pit owner. He has several Burrow pits where in the city where I live, and he was looking for a solution to be able to manage all the various transactions across the various Burrow pit sites. Okay, so this was all we're demoing. And before we got to a certain point where he had to mention that I have to come in person so that I observe. I know I recommended I would have to come in person so that we observe what the business really looks like before we can fully implement some of the things he was requesting. So another one, I think this other one, I built this one in one of our, in a session, I think that we had. This also built on Lovable. Let me share this one. So this one you can upload. If you want us to build this one now, we can build it. You can upload a document and chat with it. And this is for free. You can chat with it, upload a document and chat with it like you chat with an AI. All right. We've already started building our e-commerce. So let me log into this. Let me log in. Let me just use a random. For now. Let me try again. All right, let's see. Okay, I'm not, oh, I have to sign up. Let me sign up. They say my password is weak. All right. Okay. All right, so this is what it looks like. Okay, so you upload a document and you chat with it. Let me upload one quickly. By the way, you can create this for a business in that this uploading section will be on the admin side. This chatting or conversation side will be on the user side. Okay, that's also something to note. So let me just quickly upload a PDF. So this is a PDF that I uploaded, and you can visualize it here. You can see it here. You can view it here. Are you seeing that? It looks cool, right? So you can chat with it. You can just start by asking to summarize the key points. So like I said, this part, you can intentionally make this part to be the admin part. You can instruct it to make this part to be the admin part. Okay, it's saying, I'm sorry, I cannot summarize the key points of this document. Document provided seems to be a raw data. Okay, it does not. Okay, so you notice that there's an error. On my end, if I were building, I can go back and ensure that this thing does not happen again. Okay, but I just want to show you what it really looks like. Okay, so this is a presentation slide. Let me check an actual document. All right, let me try this one. Okay, so what are the main topics? I'll show you this and then we'll go back to our, there's something wrong with what I've built here. That's why it's giving me this issue. So I would have to fix it on that other end. I don't know if you've seen what, but these kind of things can come up and then you may have to work on it on the admin, on your Lovable account. So that's one of the challenges that we are experiencing here. But you get a feel or an idea of what's working, what's going on here, right? We get it, right? This is just a bug. Maybe in our next session, I'll fix it and I'll show us how it really, really works. Let me show us the last and final one before we go back to our e-commerce platform. So this one was an actual product we built for someone in the UK. He has a logistics business here in Nigeria. Most of his staff were robbing him, were stealing from him. So he needed to build a platform like this where he's able to keep track. They are keeping track there here in Nigeria while he's able to see them in the UK. So this was what we demoed for him. We actually built out the whole thing, but I'm just showing you the demo because right now I don't have access. We built everything and we gave him access to everything. Of course, for security reasons, we had to ensure that we don't have access to it. So this is exactly how it looks like, right? This is the admin portal, okay, and the report. Confirm you can hear me. Can you all hear me? Somebody on
loud and clear, loud and clear, loud and clear.
Right.
We can hear you, sir.
Thank you. All right. Somebody was saying they were on the call, but they went out. They dropped off. Let me grant them access quickly before we go check our e-commerce. Just give me a minute. Let me grant this person access. Right. Okay. Right. Okay. Not granting any other person access again. Went out and came back in. Okay, so let's continue. Let's go back to our, where were we? Oh, it wasn't even done. It was asking us a question. All right, so it's asking us a question, all right? So it usually does this too if it's building something really. So it's trying to ask which design do you want? So which design? So you scroll down, they're almost the same design. Just the text and the font that is different, okay? So you scroll down like this to select, okay? So you select, I've clicked on it. If you notice there's a kind of blue sign around it like this to show that I've selected. So I clicked on that and I'll click on select while we wait for that. Apologies, I didn't know that this one was waiting here. So there are much more tools that you can build, okay? You can build with Lovable. So long as, like we said earlier, you know specifically what you want to build. Let me show you one solution that I was building or I was working on just as a side project. In this one, I had to use, of course, an external API. In an e-commerce platform, you of course have to include, there are several ways to go about the e-commerce platform for payment. Okay, let me share this one with you guys while we are waiting for this. Okay, so I'll stop sharing because I want to share something else. It's just a minute. Hope I'm not boring you guys. All right. My goal is to show you what's possible so that you can go back and start building stuff for yourself. Can you see my screen? This is on another of my accounts, one of my other loggable accounts. So I'll log in quickly. Let me show you the website so that you can see what we did there. Okay, can you see the feel of the website, of the landing page itself? All right, that it's really sleek. Okay, so I'll log in. Oh my, let me reload this page again. All right. If we are done with if that of the e-commerce page is up, I'll immediately move there. But for now, okay, beautiful. All right. Okay. So this is more or less like it's more or less like a text-to-speech platform that I have built. Right. So you can generate a text, okay, with a person's voice and process it. Like I said, it was a side gig I was working. I was working on the cloning, but I was not done with the cloning. But you can actually also learn how to build stuff like this. You can pick a voice. These are different voices. Okay. I'm just wanting to show you again what is possible. What is possible if you're okay. So I don't know if you guys can hear it. Let me play it. Can you hear it? I'm moving blind here. Hello, guys. All right.
No, we can hear nothing.
Oh, you couldn't hear it. Okay, here's what I'll do, because I don't have the link. I didn't generate a link for that. So I'll download it. Can you still see the screen? I'll download it and I'll send it to you guys so that you listen to it. Because you can download it, you can save it, and you can delete it. There's that of the Pidgin English Zone 2 and so on. I'm just, like I said, the goal of this call is to show you what's possible building these sort of tools. Okay. So I'm bringing us back to our screen here for our e-commerce website. Just a minute. It's saying app will be live here. Okay, it's still working on it. You see, the reason it's taking more time is because an e-commerce website is not beans. It's not a joke. Okay, that's why it's still taking more time. All right. So apologies. It's not my doing at this point. It's creating everything that you need for building what needs to be built. All right, let's see. Okay. Okay. And by the way, when it's acting, it's going to be showing you some of the thoughts it's having. So it's saying I'll build a premium digital bookstore, and you can see how it's working here. So while that is working, let me also show us. I'm showing you guys too much. Okay. But I was thinking of showing you guys more. All right. If you join the training, we'll also show you how to launch this on a free hosting platform outside of the Lovable platform, on a free hosting platform. And also, you also join the training. Okay. Let me just be using this time to talk about the training. If you also join the training, you would also be having, we said it earlier, you'll be having access to rebranding. We'll teach you how to rebrand using AI. We recently rebranded ourselves, and if you see our logo, don't you like our logo? That was AI. That's AI generated. All right, we'll show you how to go about doing it. Okay, so that it doesn't look like something that AI actually generated. We'll show you how to do that. We'll also show you how to build solid web apps. Integrate, like I said, AI into some of the apps that you are building. Also show you how to integrate payments and much more. Like we had said earlier, while we are waiting for this, like I had said earlier, all of this comes at a cost. However, we'll still be having free trainings once a week. Okay, and before that time, you'll be informed. We'll still be having such free trainings like this. But when you join our live classes, by the way, the classes are going to be live. So what that means is that it's not going to be pre-recorded, which means you're going to be having my attention live, okay, and we're going to be working side by side. We'll also be teaching you how to think like a developer when you are building some of these things. So you're not just building Sharpie, how to generate proper prompts. I'm just showing you all of that again, so that, like I said, all of this is happening. The training is starting next week, Monday. Next week, Monday. Okay, we'll be having our onboarding on that day. If you're interested, we'll be teaching you Lovable Base 44, hosting on platforms like Vercel and much more. How to look at and observe what's on your database. Some of these terms will be easy. We pop up on our training and we'll explain some of these terms. Personally, I've been teaching for years, so to some extent I have an experience teaching, as maybe you can tell. I didn't even have enough time to show you that I'm much of a good teacher on this call, but up on our training and you see, okay, promise you that you will not regret it. All right, I'll put the link, okay, I've tagged the link already on the chat, so take advantage of that while we are still waiting for our e-commerce website. Steven, you are the cause. Just know it. I'm not to blame. So Steven that said, let's build an e-commerce platform. And I obliged. Hope Steven is still on this call. You are not permitted to leave us on this call.
What I suggested initially, George up to e-commerce, and I supported him because what I just suggested initially, we cannot build it using these 2 hours. Sorry about
Why
that.
did you support it? Why did you support it?
Sorry about that.
No worries, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. But I want you all to see. That's why I'm still waiting on this call, so that I don't think it's magic. I want you all to see it. And hopefully after this call, those of you who have it in mind to build an e-commerce website, please take it up and start building. Take it up and start building. Take it up and start building. Okay? Most of our people have dropped off. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Still have some persons here. Beautiful. There's always going to be something for those who stay still to the end. There's always going to be something for those who stay to the end. All right, so because you are still on this call, okay, let me quickly show you this 44. I'm doing this from my heart for you guys. How many of you will consider hopping on the training? Let me see people's response first. But Baba, I don't know if that's how your name is pronounced. Don't give me love emoji. Let me see those of you who hop for the training first, or who will consider it. Okay, let me know so that I will not tie you down to it. You will consider it. Let me see an emoji. Nobody's putting up an emoji now. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Aha. Don't worry, I'll still show you quickly how this thing works. I'll show you how this thing works. Show you how it works. So if you want to take it out so that you see it clearly, you can do this. Okay. You can see how sleek the thing is. All right. I'm sure you know that is not all that is left. Okay. You can actually sign in. Let's click. Let's see if it worked on the signing. Okay. So if you notice the signing, okay, yeah, the signing is working. Thought it didn't work, but the signing is working. So you can click in, sign in, and test that out. Let's check collections. You click on collections, you can see it just generated some books, random books. All right. So for the admin section, it didn't. I don't think it included the admin. It didn't include the admin section. All right. So you see, in such a case, like we had showed you guys earlier, so I'll click back here. In such a case, you have to tell it. By the way, you can also ask it. It's still working. It's not done. It's still working. So you can, by the time it's done, if you're not sure the features that it has added, you can ask it, what features have you implemented? How many is left? But just note that if you're doing that, you're going to be using your credits. But when you want to do that, okay, I think they have it. Okay, that's for plan, not chart. For plan. So this for planning, this for building. This is if you want to plan it out. And then it will start having to plan on the background. You select this and you chart it to start planning. Whatever you tell it to do to start planning or to execute. Right? We are just going straight to executing. Okay. We don't have credits to waste for planning. All right. So it's still building out the team. Let me hop to base 44 and show you what base 44 looks like. The reason I'm not heavy on base 44, as much as base 44 is also generous in terms of their free tier, the reason I'm not really big on base 44 is because there are certain limitations. If you hop on our training, I'll mention some of the limitations. It has certain limitations. Also on the training, I'll also show you a completely free tool that you don't need to pay anything to build stuffs. Okay, you don't need to pay anything. It doesn't limit you on the credits that you use, by the way. All right, I'll show you that one. But for this one, these ones have limited credits. So, like I said earlier, if you want to build same thing, type whatever you want to build here, and it starts building stuff for you. Let's try out the same e-commerce platform here. Okay, I'll put the exact same thing prompt that we got before. I'll put the exact same prompt. All right. Let's see which of them builds something final. Do we have any person who is a teacher here or who trains people? Anyone?
Yes, sir. I do train. Yeah.
You train. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, so maybe I'm going to think, okay. I'm always tempted to be doing too much. So you can actually, if you train people, you can actually create internal tools using this 44. It's very, very good for building internal tools. For example, like quiz generator. All right, a quiz taking app, just like a general CBT with time attached. There's a company I built something like that for not too long ago. I even included these things I'm saying is something like audio. Maybe in our next training I'll show you that one. Okay, so Lovable is done. So I'll click on this. Let's build exactly the same thing here. I'll go to Lovable, go back to Lovable. So let's see. I think Lovable is done here. All right. So Lovable is done. We can now proceed. So, like I said, one way to look at the entire page properly is to close this sidebar. So you can look at the entire thing. Let's check to see if the admin, all right, so we have the admin section. Okay, so all of these are the various pages, okay, on this one is just showing us, this is the landing page. It's showing us a different page, admin, books. So let's check that, let's see what that looks like. Okay, you have to log in to have access to that. So let me log in. Let me just log in as admin at gmail.com and do this admin so that we can have access to that. Okay, saying invalid because I put in a wrong. And by the way, you can also set the app such that you can use any, just for testing, use any random email. There's a way to do that, but it's out of scope for this call. So let me use architect.lab. Okay. Okay, it's invalid login. We've not signed up. Sorry about that. That's what it meant. Let me put my name. Let's go. Password is too weak. Wow. You just use random passwords. Email not confirmed. Okay, so for the admin, for you to be able to have admin access, I guess one of the things, because I've worked on something similar to this before, you have to specifically state that you're an admin. You have to tell it to give you only you access to this kind of thing. So you put in your email. Okay, you put in your email. That way, it will note that you're an admin. So I'll tell it that. Please stay with me. Stay with me. If you are wanting to run away, don't run away yet. Admin email. All right. So I'll tell you to use this as the admin, all right, email. So while we wait for that, I'll be checking the others. I check the library. Okay, I can only check books and new release without signing up. All right, I want you all to see the admin section before we go, all right? And that will be all for this call. Okay, so I think it's done that. Okay, still working on that. Oh, it said I declined payment enabled for, because we are not adding payment yet. So you see that it could automatically add Stripe, but you can add Paystack. You want to add Paystack. Add Paystack, you want to add Paystack. You can also use, I'm just giving you this guy, these for free, by the way. You can also use Seller. You have your different products there, set up there. You can link them up to a landing page like this. So when they click on it, it takes them there, they make their purchase, and everybody is good. If you don't want to be responsible for managing all those payment issues, okay? Because once you build this thing, you also be responsible for managing it. All right, that's something most of us are not told. Please confirm you are still on this call and I'm not talking to myself. But are you all seeing how relatively easy it is? Awesome. So let's check the admin books again. Let's check if it would be okay. So this time around, I'll log in. It doesn't work this time around. I would just tell it should just give me direct access with it should generate an email and a password that I'll be using specifically for this. So I'll do this. All right, just a minute. Okay, let's check it again. Click Adele. Right. Try it again. Why is it saying this? Okay, let me click a different, use a different name. Let me use just Adams. Let me use, somebody is raising their hand. Is somebody raising their hand? Okay, let me show you where we usually would check this thing out. So let me check it out here. Let's check it out here. So I clicked on this place that says more, because I wanted to see what the issue specifically is. Okay, so if you click on clouds, you've stayed up to this point, you now see some of the things that some other persons may have missed. So these are some other things to consider. They are not complex at all. Come for the training, we'll show you more on this, but I just want to check it out because we are considering our users. Okay. So one user has been created. All right, so the admin. So it means that the admin is here. So I'll ask it, okay, so this is my admin. So I'd ask it to use this as admin and generate a password for me that I'll always be using. I think that will be easier and better for me. Is somebody asking a question? We've overshot our time. All right. So generate a password for me that I'll be using for now. Okay. So I don't waste much time. Generate a password that I could be using. And this would be the only person that will be given access, along with that email that I've given you earlier. This will be only admin user. Other users could, of course, have login using the usual login channel or flow, but I should be the only one that will be able to have access to the admin using this architecton.lab@gmail.com. Oh my. Okay, transcribing. Okay. All right. Beautiful. Beautiful. Let's check. Okay. What's it called? This 44 is still building its own. Still building its own. It's not done yet. Once it's done, we'll check that out. Skip. Okay. All right, so let's go back to our web. So if you want to go to web, you click on this web icon here. I'll go back to the website. Okay. So I'll refresh. Okay. I'll check admin. All right, let's see. Let's see what's the response. Let's read. Okay, so it gives me beautiful. So if you notice, it gives me this for login as an admin, and this for password. Okay. Let's try it. Awesome. You can all see it, right? So these are some of the challenges sometimes you may encounter and how to bypass them. Okay. So let's explore the catalog. So as an admin, okay, we check our books. So you can add books. When you click on add books, let me zoom out a bit. Okay, you can see your title, add title. Let me just put some random text. All right, to confirm that it works. Okay. we didn't specify the amount of money. So if you notice, it's putting it in cents. So remember, we mentioned that earlier. Okay. Pages, let's say 56 pages. You want to add a cover. Oh, it didn't include that feature. Okay, it included it. Beautiful. So I'll just upload something there. Okay. I'll upload another one there. So the file itself, I'll upload something else there. And I'll click on save. Okay. Let's see if it's saved. Oh my. Okay. Let's refresh. Let me check. I need to refresh. Let's check. Okay. So if you notice, it didn't add it. So there's of course an issue somewhere. So you have to tell it then that when. So the more reason you test. Are you following the idea? So I'll stop here. The whole idea is that you test. Okay. Once you've built out a feature, you test each of the features to see that they work. And on and on and on and on it goes. Hope that's clear. Hope you've learned a lot. All right. Thank you everybody for joining this call. We are come to the end of the call. Oh, I was going to show you guys base 44. I promised. Let me keep my promise. All right. So for the base 44, I don't know if you can see it here. So this is what it looks like. I've built out the whole thing. For base 44, one of the advantages of base 44, at least I've noticed, is that you may not have to stress yourself much in terms of making many corrections compared to Lovable. That's the only one of the advantages, at least I've figured. Okay. So I just want to quickly show you what this one came up with too, so that almost something similar in terms of design. All right. Almost something similar, except for maybe some other. All right. So this is just to show you what's possible. All right. By the time you're done from this call, try your hands on a number of projects that you have in mind. Prompt every day. That's one of the ways to hone the skill that you learned on this call. How many of us are going to be building things beginning from this weekend, hopefully tomorrow? How many of us? If you're going to be building, just indicate with an emoji. Oh, a developer is asking how do we, okay. If you want to know more of that, join our training. If you want to know more of that, you want to copy code. But one thing you must note is that on base 44, you can't copy the code. Okay, base 44, you can't. That's also a disadvantage. Okay. All right, guys, have a lovely one. We'll have another training some other time. Take care, everybody. We'll meet again next time.
Thank you. Thank you so very much, sir. Remain blessed. Thank you.
And you too. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're
We are
welcome.
going to complete today's
All right.
class.
You said? Okay, I didn't quite catch that. All right, take care, everybody.